Marty Supreme is the latest in the lineup for Oscar season and is Timothée Chalamet's next attempt to win Best Actor. Let's see how it holds up. Que lo que, mi gente del Caribe. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I appreciate your support as always. Today we're going to be talking about Marty Supreme. This is the latest film directed by Josh Safdie, and it stars Timothée Chalamet, Gwyneth Paltrow, Fran Drescher, Tyler the Creator, and Odessa A'zion. This is loosely inspired by the true story of table tennis player Marty Reisman and follows a young and self-obsessed man chasing his dream to become a champion table tennis player. I was looking forward to this film solely based on the fact that I really enjoy Timothée Chalamet in films, and I also love the director Josh Safdie. Him and his brother, the Safdie brothers, are both fantastic, and I think that they provide some really magnificent and amazing films. So I was going to watch this no matter what. So I'm happy to say that I absolutely loved this film. I thought it was incredible, and I loved all of the themes that this film touches on. In particular, you can put together by the end of it that this is a cautionary narrative that's driven by themes of mental health around pathological lying as well as selflessness versus selfishness. And it seeks to emphasize the importance of managing our passions and our dreams before they become a toxin that blinds us and essentially causes us to hurt the ones that we love and neglect to mend the traumas that we've endured in life. And so the movie it ends with a profound question of whether this cycle of hurt is going to repeat itself or if we're going to make changes to heal and to become better than who we are or who we have been in the past. And so I think there's a lot of touching themes there on that selflessness, that selfishness, and how they tackle it and present it, which is both intriguing but also anxiety driven. This movie is really intense and does not let up. The pace is very consistent. It gets moving quickly and it never stops. And the chaos just kind of ramps up more and more and more and more throughout the entirety of the film. And this is a 2.5-hour film as well. And I found that I was never bored. I was always engaged, which is impressive given that runtime. And it's always meaningful to the film. I didn't feel like there was anything for filler in that runtime. Everything felt as though it was important either to the central character, to the overall story, or to the overall themes and messages that they're trying to convey. And so I think that everything felt very purposeful, and I was really impressed with how they wove this film together. I found it to be a really potent and profound character study that's looking at generational trauma and how our trauma, if kept unchecked and not mended and resolved, can affect our inner circles or our offspring. Whatever the case may be, how does our trauma affect others if we are not keeping it in check? And so I thought that the way they explored this generational trauma was really fascinating. And it also explores themes about enablement, kind of like enabling behavior, especially in regards to mental health that's being unsupported. I thought that was really impressive how they wove that dynamic, how they portrayed that dynamic with a lead character that is very unlikable. He's not a good person per se. And so the way that they're able to still reel you into the story based on these dynamics and themes that they're exploring, that was impressive. And of course, within that, you do see a little bit of socioeconomic status commentary, which is, I wouldn't say on the nose. I think it's as obvious as it needs to be. And I think that it adds in general to those themes of mental health in the sense of these things being left unchecked and unserviced, unsupported, essentially the lack of resources and how that might affect and how that might lead some people to thinking money will solve everything or their dreams will solve everything, when in reality that's not the case. Life is a lot harder than that, and life is a lot more complex than that. Talking about these unlikable characters, Timothée Chalamet gives a phenomenal performance as this ambitious and driven individual, albeit not a good person. But there's an appeal to that in his performance and how he is very vulnerably playing this detrimentally self-obsessed person. And at what cost? You know, what does that bring this individual to? How does that break down this character? How does this affect the people around them? And I think there's a vulnerability that Timothée Chalamet brings to the role that I really respected and appreciated. As I mentioned, this movie is remarkably intense, and the pacing is really quick, and it keeps you on your feet and it keeps things moving. But in the midst of all that tension and anxiety, there's also a good amount of humor that's intermixed within it. And it's very well delivered. It doesn't compromise the tone of the film, the overall delivery of the film. I think it meshed very nicely, and I was really impressed with the way they blended the drama with the chaos with the comedy. So in the end, it has fantastic direction from Josh Safdie. It's well edited. I don't think there's anything that's out of place. It feels very purposeful, and so I think it was edited and cut together quite nicely. And then there's also stunning cinematography, and it's very well written with strong themes, profound messages that I think a lot of people will be able to derive something from it as long as they're viewing it from the correct lens. And so for those reasons, I would give Marty Supreme a 5 out of 5 stars. I really loved this film. I thought it was spectacular. I don't think there was any issues with it for myself personally, but I will say this movie is not going to be for everyone. There's some uncomfortable sequences that are meant to highlight some very stark differences between the lead character and those around him, and those themes of selfishness versus selflessness and how they tackle that and that generational trauma. Again, everything serves a purpose, but at times it might feel odd or uncomfortable, so it's not going to be for everyone. But for myself, I loved it. I could see the purpose in it, and I think that this movie was incredible. So what did you guys think of Marty Supreme? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Let me know down in the comment section below, and I would love to continue the conversation. God bless you guys, and stay tuned as I should have another review coming soon. Take care.